Gather, connect, and activate your authentic voice. The Women of the Sword Channel invite you to Nevada City, California for an all-inclusive weekend retreat. We've chosen the sacred grounds of Harmony Ridge Lodge, Nevada City's most beautiful retreat venue, with walking trails and an ability to connect to nature. It's just the perfect place. Saturday morning, Eileen Nash is going to teach us about intentional creativity through the art of smashbooking. I can't wait. We're going to access your inner muse and get down to your deepest desires. Then I'm going to step up on Saturday afternoon and we're going to talk about blooming out loud, how to take those desires and turn them into the beautiful life you'd like to be living. Sunday morning, Jan is going to lead us through voice release, a joyful process where all your fears and inhibitions about speaking your truth melt away. Join us in Nevada City in October and activate your authentic voice.
Welcome to the Just Jan Show, and I have another great Nevada City star, Ludi Hinrichs. Welcome.
Ludi, often I talk to people about formative experience in their lives and what brought them to the music and the work that they do. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in St. Louis, and I can tell you right off the bat that the formative experience, probably one of the prime formative experiences I had, and this has come up in the last year, Jan, is recalling and regressing a serious incident that happened when I was 2 years old, where I was almost burned completely to take my life. And that was situation when I was 2. It was, my brother was playing with matches, and that burn experience led to 3 to 6 months being strapped in a hospital bed. And the only thing I could do, I could either give up. I remember back then, I could give up and die, or I could find a way to deal with the extreme being tied down, and as a 2-year-old, completely shut off. So what I did is I went to the form for me that works, which was absorbing the sounds.
Yes.
Yeah, all the sounds around in the hospital, the creaking of the chairs, the soft talk at nighttime, and I developed an ear for this, an acute ear for music then, which may have been in the makeup anyway. And that had led to a certain kind of music going in way deep inside.
You developed an extra ear.
Yeah, it was like an extra ear.
The music was a portal of safety where you could reside.
That's right.
Beyond the physical pain.
Yep.
And that's what you do now, is you take people across the bridge of their pain and their troubles simply by teaching them music. Or recently, you've gone into sound healing as well. And we'll talk about that part. But everyone who sits at this table, who I believe is a transformational agent, has had something so difficult where they had to make a choice. I am here in service, I have a message, and this will not keep me down.
That's basically it.
And at age 2, usually it can be 40s, 50s, 60s where you've had some miles, but you actually enveloped yourself in that music. So then what? Did you pick up an instrument from that point?
I did a lot of listening. I'm from a musical family. My grandmother happened to be a concert pianist, And so that was coming. That was
In the DNA.
That was in the DNA. And my father loved Beethoven. In fact, the odd part about this is my full name was Ludwig van Beethoven
Oh, now we're
Hinrichs.
talking.
I mean, that's the joke here. And I teach piano, and I love playing Beethoven. So
You are so cool. You're traditional and a hippie at the same time.
yeah, so it was it's a real interesting mix. So when I was young, there was 5 children in the family, and we had a lot of music in the house. But I really only started playing music in the 7th and 8th grade. In grade school, playing the bugle in the drum and bugle corps, which led to high school playing the trombone, which is a fascinating instrument to me then. And then piano happened in college. So I was a late bloomer with the performance.
Interesting. Yes, on the horn. I took trombone for one Christmas. Can you imagine Silent Night on the trombone?
Nice.
You
I
just
can.
fascinated.
Silent
Well, you
Night.
can.
Beautiful.
So onto piano, and then you studied and learned about music and keys and all the different things. I bet it came easily for you.
It did. In fact, it's been almost a setback because I would get bored with in college with the analysis of Bach fugues and Bach's works in class. But at the same time, I felt like the real inspiration is going, and always has been, going deep into the heart of the sound. And that's why didgeridoo came later, too.
Yes. I would even say that I think you relate to the vibration.
Yeah.
The vibration it gives messages to you. It's alive. Yes, I can see that about you. So were you a music major in college?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever sing?
Yeah, I sang. I love singing.
Yes, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
What style of singing?
Well, in college I sang in a choir, and then one day, actually well after college, I was playing with a jazz group, and I do play jazz as well. That's one of my loves. But I was in a group, and a tune came up, and for some reason I didn't pick up the horn. I scat sang. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, and you know,
Listening to Ella Fitzgerald.
yeah, Ella,
for
and
sure, yeah.
Ella was definitely, and also some of the other, John Hendricks was, John Hendricks was a big influence from my older brother who loved jazz. So I had a lot of these different influences, Jan, and then one day after college, after going to Berklee School of Music in Boston.
Berkeley. Okay, I was wondering where you grew up. East Coast?
I grew up in St. Louis, but then I went to Boston for my 4th year of college, to Berklee.
Perfect.
And so after Berklee, I was kind of wondering what I'm going to do. I ended up, to make a long story short, in Vancouver Island, studying the music of Terry Riley, of John Cage, of Harry Partch, and listening to the poetry of Gary Snyder. Well, I didn't know later on that I would be performing with some of these people.
Amazing.
And there's a certain magic to all our lives. I think if we put if we don't have expectation,
Attachment. Just let those puzzle pieces fall.
they fall.
Yeah.
And yet there's a desire for me I knew that the music was drawing me forward. And that's the current process I'm in now. I'm in another phase now. And after 2 years after my wife passed, we had a 43-year relationship. And it's a whole other field for me. So now I'm doing this. The CD here is a reflection of the last 2 years. And it's got a lot of piano on it and the gong. I have a large gong that I use for healing work too.
You're diving even deeper. You know, I did music at the bedside for hospice for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
It completely opened you to a world working with vibration in that way. You know, that's how I met you. When I first came to town, you were looking for a little crystal.
That's right.
To commemorate your partner of how many years?
43.
Oh my. So another life passage that brought him even deeper into his music and his musical expression. And this was written here, Senior Directory 50 plus. You're probably just maybe a day over 50, you and I.
Yeah. A few days.
It takes a few days to become a master, and I see you as a master, comfortable with your gifts and in your body, and flowing. And here we have feel, deal, heal. And who did you give that credit to?
I credit that to Barbara Marciniak and the Pleiadians. Barbara comes here once a year, and I think those three words really fit. Yes. Feel it, deal with what you're feeling.
Yes.
Don't attempt to escape, and the healing will follow. That's still a wonderful way to process in this life.
So music has given you the inner strength and solace for these major transitions. First the burn, and then the loss of your wife of many, many decades. Jazz trombonist Ludi Hinrichs is embarking on a new musical venture that blends the sonorous, good, like sonic, sonorous qualities of the gong and Australian ditch with storytelling to release trapped emotion.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's cool. So he promised me when we come back after the break that he will play the ditch for us. So before we actually move into that, you are a beloved music teacher here in town.
Oh.
And it's just so old-fashioned. We have this cute little quaint town with 2 streets, and there is the Miners Foundry and little doors, and children knock, and they go in, and there is your studio.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a little wool rug. And what did they learn with Ludi Hinrichs?
Well, what the kids learn, what I like to do is listen to where they're at. I like to gauge their sensibilities. How are they sensing? How are they sensing the musical world? What are they perceiving with their mind? Are they in their body? Is their heart in it? And I develop a plan of working with them through teaching music books in classical form and good technique, but also I want to, as soon as possible, draw on their creativity.
The landscape of it. For instance, Alistair Fraser, I just heard him say that if people say, I can't play the violin, he'd say, play the mountain range. Mm-hmm. And I could imagine you doing something similar.
I love to improvise with students. I find that there's particular, around age 8 to 10, there is completely no filters about improvising.
That's the magic zone.
Yeah. And those children can play. I wish I could record some of the things they do because they're profound.
They say the angelic realms are open to children at that age. And speaking of angels, did you know that Edgar Casey said the first city of light to emerge of being holding light mastery is where?
Nevada City, California. Yeah. He said that in 1922.
And
I told you that.
You're the one that told me. Ludi, thank you, because I say it on every show.
Yeah.
More confirmation.
And he was in Virginia when he said he had never been here.
So I didn't make it up?
No, he
Thank you, Ludi.
Yeah.
Yay. And Ludi, we have to take a break right now. We're having so much fun, and we're going to come on and play the ditch in just a moment. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Do you feel that you have a message that you want to share with the world, but you feel like your voice is not being heard? We are here to help. We are SOAR with Sacred Circles, TV shows, radio shows, and workshops. We have created a special place for you to connect and find your voice in empowered community. Connect with us at soundandlighthealingarts.com. the Just Jan show, and today we have another local favorite of mine, Ludi Hinrichs. And actually, I spent a lot of time up next to your house up on the ridge, too. You lived up there quite a while in the country.
Since 1989.
Yeah, and I know that you are sensitive and careful about too much electromagnetic.
Definitely.
That goes along with the person who at age 2 was severely burned and learned to develop an extrasensory listening. And you're a very sensitive being vibrationally. But everybody on this show is about vibration because you're a messenger. And you are bringing new initiatives, and they say that it's the artist or holding a certain frequency that is implanting and changing all of reality.
Well, I certainly believe that and see it.
You embody it.
Thank you.
I love that smile. And look at how handsome he looks on his CD. Ludi
thank you.
Henrik. Yes, that's quite the look there.
Thank you.
And this is at our own Miners Foundry.
Yeah,
This,
it's a live recording.
he's done all different genres of music throughout his life, a trained musician. And when his wife of 43 years passed 2 years ago, he began delving into the resonance of sound for releasing emotions. And this CD is called Lost, Remembrance, and Emergence. And do you play the ditch on this as well?
Actually, I don't. I play the trombone on that in the manner of a didgeridoo. There's a piece on there because you can play the trombone in a certain way with what's called a plunger mute. You can get a sound that's very similar to a didgeridoo. That's one of the pieces on there.
I get an image that you're like plunging the emotions stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, with the trombone and
Yeah,
the ditch.
it's cutting through. It's cutting music, I would say.
Song for a Sweet One. Song, The New Arrival for Stanley, Pizza and Pearls, Two Bears, The Holy Longing, and the last one is Going and Gone. So I asked him if he would play the ditch for us, so I'm going to step out so you can hold the energetic
Okay,
field.
I'll do some
If you'd like
didgeridoo.
to make an intention for our viewers, we go to 140 countries, and I'm sure that there are people right now that are experiencing confused, jarring emotions related to loss or disappointment.
Yes.
So I'll step out.
Well, my intention for this plane of the didgeridoo is for all of us throughout this planet to come to awakening within ourselves. What's real for each of us? What is really, really in there and real and resonates where we feel open and our heart opens and we can be in that place. And whatever that is for each of us, whatever direction we need to go, that's what I wish, because I wish that for myself.
toes were tingling ready.
Good.
Ludi.
Yeah.
Now I've lost my voice too.
That happens.
Yeah.
A lot of faculties go with that's a vibration cuts through.
You're
know?
cutting the corset strings
Yeah.
of my being. So let me ask you this. What are you thinking when you're doing your music like that?
I'm riding a wave. I'm not thinking so much about it as I can do without the didgeridoo. Think ahead. I'm riding the wave, and I'm letting the impulses come forward that I feel need to come. And there are some specific things that want to come out. I feel like some of the harmonics want to be expressed. So when I'm playing this, I will sing certain harmonics through it. So you have two sounds at once. That's what you were hearing. That's what's actually, this is magnifying.
You don't need the ditch.
We don't need a ditch, but it's nice to have a ditch. It's easier with a ditch.
So you're in the music. You are like in the pool of music, and you're not thinking at all.
Yeah.
So you're letting it move through. That is that improvisational part of whatever needs to come through, and that's that messenger part of service, like the hollow bone.
Yeah, it is. It's
So, are you doing sound healing journeys for individuals? Are you doing group sound healing now? I know you just did a concert. Are you mixing it, concert sound healing?
I've got a couple things in the works. I do have the sound healing concert coming up at the Magic Carpet toward the end of this
Oh,
month.
fabulous. That's a good name for a
yeah,
tour. Yay, here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, and that
I love those guys too.
yeah, they're sweet
They're like
people.
disciples, Peter and Paul, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is actually it's Peter and his wife Caroline.
Oh,
And
that's
Paul
another
is.
she's
But anyway, the space is very intimate there. There's carpets from all over Afghanistan and India
Oh, it's
and Iran.
fabulous. Singing gold.
Yeah, it's a beautiful environment, and I will do that with the purpose of, again, any time I think that we want to cut through and get to something inside, it takes an effort. And so, no, I don't believe a healer does the work. I think the person all does the work. All the healer does is say, here's your opportunity.
Yes, they have to choose.
Yeah.
And they have to show up.
Yeah, you have to show up,
Yeah.
exactly.
Actually, that's how they say Jesus healed. You just showed up and said, would you like to see your highest healed self?
That's right.
And in a sense, this is ministry work that you're doing. Now we're sounding
Yeah.
religious. We
Yeah,
have
I
Peter
don't-
and Paul and the
Yeah,
ministry.
but I don't see it as ministry work, but I do see it as a natural, it's my gift and it's my
Yes.
duty to share that.
Music is the only thing that's unchanged from earth to heaven. They say that Mozart would hear the music before he woke up and would wake up and write it down. So this heavenly music is coming through you and you're surrendered and people can receive it, but they must show up. So you also have a regular band too, right? Did I hear that?
Yeah.
I see the little brochures, it's a small town.
Yeah, right.
So what's your regular music band?
Well, I haven't done a lot of that since for about a year, but I have a trio that goes into this exploratory frequency, and I like to go back to the sounds that all the way back to trace the history of music back in Western music. In this case, I'd like to trace it all the way back to Mesopotamia.
Whoa,
And there.
Pythagorean and
And through
natural
Pythagoras
theory.
back, even before Pythagoras. So there's still formulas that are available if you look for them. And there's instruments, and I built a few.
So indigenous style, stringed instruments, chanting. What sorts of offerings do you create?
Well, I have, as an example, Jan, I have one instrument. It's simply a auto harp.
Okay, like
with
a
some-
monochord, kind of.
Well, no, the monochord is basically a tuning device for that.
Okay.
So it's like a harp.
He's the master, obviously.
Just think of a harp that you play on a table.
Okay, nice.
The monochord, good point, that was Pythagoras', that was his contribution. It is a calibrating instrument for the aiming of these particular frequencies that you would like to bring forth. And so, for instance, the frequency of 3-2 do, do, in perfect form is
You are a
exquisite.
singer. I have a good ear too.
No.
And you're a good singer.
Hello. So we'll have to continue this another time because our time is running out. But it's a fascinating
Yes.
area of discovery, and to me, it's coming back.
There are so many layers to music. There's sound, there's vibration, there's healing, there's entertainment, and you can embody all of them.
Mhm.
Plus you're a music teacher. So what inspires you? What is next? I mean, what's the next territory for you? What excites you? I know you just made this CD, and how can I order this? Loss, Remembrance, and Emergence. Ludi Hinrichs, Hinrichs.
Because just these days you can Google Ludi Hinrichs, or you can go to www.ludihinrichs.com.
Okay.
That's another way to find
And
us.
they could keep up with you
Yeah.
that way. Whatever is coming next, who knows? The next life adventure.
Mhm.
Now, do you teach over the internet at all? Is there any way, because we go to 140 countries.
This is all new to me, and I'm coming out of the 18th century, so I'm making progress in the techno department, but just getting an iPhone for me is major. And I
think
don't
you're
even have
like-
one.
You're like an old-fashioned musical hobbit, and you're very, very new age. So just get a tech person.
Yes.
Because your frequencies can go even further to people that need. And the type of information you know about music, you're a master teacher, and you don't have to go sit in some ivory tower school.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
can have your own classes.
I understand that, and I'm getting more comfortable. Let's say, maybe that's not, but acclimated to the culture, with at the same time an awareness
Yes.
of the danger of going too far into
Yes.
into the
Yes,
into the world of electromagnetic
yes.
disturbance of our fields,
We
because
must respect that for our physical balance or
Yeah.
vibrational field. Are we out of time already?
yeah.
Oh, you're kidding. I have this very special little, if you're our age, it's a cootie catcher, and I was going to ask a quick question. Okay, which door? Which door?
I say door number 4.
Door number 4. Okay, this is Ludi's cootie catcher. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. What do you say yes to? What makes you say yes in life? What do you always say yes to? I say yes to chocolate. That is so easy.
Well,
Any form.
what do I say yes to?
Love, romance, travel.
I would say love, romance, and travel is right at the top there. I would also say that I say yes, and this is my challenge, to many things in life now. And the next phase that you were just talking about is, what do I say no to?
Discernment then.
Yeah.
All right.
Discern-
Stay tuned. Ludi Hinrichs' next adventure,
Yeah,
and it's
well,
going to be grand on this
Thank you.
magic carpet.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show
This is
here
great.
with
This
us
is a
today.
good job.
It's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really,
Yeah.
really, you guys are gonna enjoy this.
Totally,
This is
totally
really,
fun.
really low key.
See you next week. Take care.
There you
Yeah,
go.
we're regular.
Thanks for joining us today. This programming is for you to grow and be inspired. And before we say goodbye today, I'd like to tell you who is joining us next week.
I hear no thunder, I see no grave, I have no explanation for why I